listening to Smashing the Party. This is your host, Nate Bomberger.
I have no idea why the fuck this is so hard, but nothing's working. My animations didn't even work. Nothing. But I know I got sound, so welcome to Smashing the Party. This is the third time I'm trying this shit, and I'm going to get it right this time. I know it. Welcome to the party. This is the third time. I know I have sound. I don't care if you say I don't have sound. You got to know how embarrassing it is to be on live. Let me just see if I have sound. There we go. We got sound. So I will tell you the anxiety that I feel when I'm at the end and I get these messages sucks. Somebody smartly said I should be checking my messages while I'm doing the live. I know that. I get into the mode and I forget shit. I need a checklist and I'm going to do it. I am sorry. This is absolutely unacceptable. If you were paying for this shit, you'd be wanting your money back. Fortunately, most of you aren't paying for it. For the few that are, I owe you, motherfucker. I know I owe. I'm trying to get this video out. I'm talking about something important. 3-second violation, I'll call it, since it's been the third time I'm trying to kick this off. The second time was fucking butter. I was thinking I was going to get calls from Tyler Perry, fucking somebody. It was good. My jokes were on point. I don't know if I can replicate it for the third time, but let's give it a shot. What are we talking about? 3-second violation. What the fuck you mean? Well, I'll tell you right now, the third time I'm doing this, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about on the 3-second violation. What I'm talking about is your attention span. I struggle with my attention span, as you probably can tell. Lifelong sufferer of ADHD. So I can say retard. I am neurodivergent, just like my fellow brother's retard. My brother, that joke didn't land. Anyway, I'm just trying to associate myself. Oh, God, no. We're not doing that.
This is your host, Nate Bomberger.
We're not doing that.
You're listening to Smashing the Party. This is your host, Nate Bomberger.
Sorry, guys. Oh, see, shit just happens. This is how it always is. Breathe, Nate. All right. Well, this is the third time I'm getting it off. And I was not, you know what, I can't sleep. So there's no point in going to bed thinking about how awful I was. All right. So we're here again. What the hell was I saying for that hour with all that shit? It was fantastic to watch. I'm sure you enjoyed watching all the whiz bang, shit that I had going on. But I will tell you, unfortunately, one of the coolest animations that I had worked all night until the third time, and I'm going to show it to you just because it was that fucking awesome. And I don't care what you think. This was fucking a lot of hard work. Okay? Look at that. Look at that. You see that? Boom! 3-second news cycle. Oh, I said news cycle. Oh my God, I need an editor. All right. Well, so what were we talking about? Why is Nate so determined to get this one out? And what the fuck was he saying that whole time? Well, I came into a struggle bus when I was trying to figure out how I'm going to pierce through the glass ceiling of reach that I'm at. I have a certain amount of reach that I can get. I know I can do more by paying and buying, but I'm trying to do this organically, which is next to impossible with these platforms because they want you to pay. But I know people are telling other people about the podcast and the live streams, but it's frustrating. So I'm looking at my data, my analytics, trying to figure out what my viewers want. Obviously, I don't have a lot of analytics, but I do have enough, certainly enough to figure out what people are interested in. Well, I start to dive into that piece, and what I learn is that not only are my viewers not getting what they want, but I'm not giving Facebook what its algorithm wants. Its algorithm wants 3-second plays. They want something that's going to pop, that's going to stop you from doom scrolling, and that's what my data is telling me. My data is telling me I do a shitty job in the first 3 to 10 seconds. And as you can see, it's been nothing but kerfluffles and shenanigans coming from this end. Technical challenges aside, As I said in the last one, you can watch the sequence of events as I get better. My cadence is better. My storytelling's better. My affect is better. Less filler words. All these things are good. But how do I get through the glass ceiling? The glass ceiling of reach, as I'll call it. Well, you do the thing that you're supposed to do. You look at the data. What are you looking at? Well, now I'm really frustrated because every single platform has the same mantra. What do you do in that first 3 seconds? It makes sense, right? We want to capture your attention, but I'm saying it's destroying everybody. If you watch my placard for the fucking 15th time, this is the 15th time I've fucking done this, you will see that I'm also positing that we don't even have a 24-hour news cycle. We have a 3-second news cycle, and I said news cycle. What the fuck? It's almost like I got out of bed and didn't know what I was doing today, right? Is that what you're thinking? You're like, what the fuck, dude? How do you put yourself up there embarrassing yourself like that? I got no shame. No fucking shame. Why not? Look, I'm going to be dead in fucking 40 years. Less than that, most likely. So I don't give a fuck. I'll embarrass myself again. I'm not going to go home and sleep, so I might as well stay up. I don't sleep. Big secret, huh? I don't sleep. That's why I'm fucking weird. But this point is important because I think what I'm saying is relevant to every single person on this planet, and that is our attention span is being hijacked. It's being abused, and we're going to suffer the consequences. Our democracy is going to suffer the consequences. What the fuck am I talking about, Nate? 3 seconds, you fucking flailing on your video, things aren't popping, the animations aren't working, you're scrappy. Please tell me what point you're trying to make. All right, let's get to it. I'm frustrated with the fact that I've got to alter my content to the point where I've got to create flashy, jazzy, spicy stuff to get your attention. Now, I'm aware that my content isn't that great yet. 54 YouTube followers. Obviously, the world hasn't heard about me yet because once they do, that will break that threshold. But in all seriousness, it's very important for me to get more viewers, and I'm not just going to beg every day. I need to get my content up. I need to get the quality of it. I want to get my story. I want you to check in and be like, holy shit, what the fuck is he going to say today, right? That part I'm confident I can continue to do. What I can't do, though, is fight against algorithms that are incentivizing against my long-form format. Now, I'm not saying Facebook doesn't want long form. They do. They want lives. There's some incentivization going on. But for the most part, to break through, you have to have that viral video feel or something to pierce through and make that headway. Of course, I'm going to continue to grow organically. But it's frustrating. And then I started to think, well, wow, every single content creator that's out there, just like me, is getting this information as they start out their little tiny channel and they grow. They're realizing that they need to do something. They got to fix their thumbnails, which my thumbnails suck. And look, there's so many reasons why I'm not breaking a threshold. I get it, but I'm using this as practice. So this isn't failure. You're watching somebody fail in front of you, and I'm going to fail and fail and fail until I'm successful. So just fucking chill. I'm actually saying that to myself. My internal monster right now saying, you fucking loser. How could you fucking fuck up the sound for the 17th time, you software architect? Phony. There you go. That's all the mind cutting I will do. I'm in therapy. No more of that, Nate. Get to the point. 3-second violation. You're stating, Nate, that 3 seconds is destroying democracy. Yep, I am. And I'm saying that as a creator, I'm seeing the back door, the back end, what's going on in the back office. And the back office says, crank out shit that's going to pull them off their doom scrolling. Spice it up. Make that first 3 seconds so interesting they have to stop scrolling. Now, this is the original problem I talked about the first night I tried to fucking deliver this speech, which is that now we have a new problem. Everybody out there creating content that's spicy, it's getting you. Let's just say everyone's wildly successful at creating content for some reason, meaning they're just capturing that 3 second. So what do you have if everyone's really good at it and everything's capturing your attention? Now we've got a couple problems. I liken it to an orchestra playing. First, it's a couple of musicians playing for you, and you're like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, it's the whole orchestra, and then they don't fucking leave. And so what do? You either go deaf or you shut them out, or you try to fucking get out of there, or whatever. So what I feel like we're in the social era, a social media state, or let's say as we're probably at the social media is a rough teenager right now. We're so not well developed in how we're handling social media, both socially, technically, and everything else. But psychologically is where I'm leaning in today, is this 3-second thing that they're incentivizing us is slowly breaking down people's attention span to where they don't want longer form content. Or if they do, they'll stay in their niche. I'm not suggesting people aren't reading books. I'm not suggesting people aren't watching movies. I'm not suggesting people aren't enjoying lives. I mean, there are streamers that stream 15 hours a day. Don't understand what the fuck people watch, how someone watches somebody for 15 hours a day, but it's true. So I'm not, I'm aware that there are some limitations in my reach that are self-inflicted. So I don't want this to come across as a bitch session about how I'm frustrated with my growth. Because quite frankly, every single time I've done this fucking soliloquy, I've also said that my growth is phenomenal right now. So I'm excited about that. There's nothing wrong with this is less about me going, complaining about the world. It's more me making an assessment of what I see and the cringe feeling that I felt when I started to think, what do I need to do to capture that first 3 seconds? I'm just one of many people. And now I'm thinking, do I pull out my schlong? Do I do elephant? Do I do my dance before I get in the shower? Do I do my zoomy dance? Do I show a little nipple? I don't know. How do I get that person to stop scrolling? My nipples aren't attractive. I agree. I'm just making jokes about the fact that you start to think, wow, I need to really elevate my pitch, or I need to really scream really loud, or I need to say something weird, or I need to do something stupid. And so that's why you see reels, just, people pumping money into reels, because they're short, quick videos. They're easy to produce. They're lightweight. You can crank them out, and they keep people tied to their phone. I hate to say it, but that's the driver, is to get you to stay on your phone. I would prefer if you listen to me while you're working. I prefer you listen to me while you're driving. I prefer you watch me in the comfort of your home late night when no one's around because you're scared to tell everybody about your dirty, dark secret. That's the kind of listener I want you to be for me. So why do I say all that? Because I'm wanting to be this person for my viewers, but I also don't want to lose my authenticity. And this incentivization's driving me to think thoughts that are unhealthy. I'm not talking the good, fun, unhealthy thoughts. I'm talking about the kind that say, wow, maybe I need to compromise something to do something to get attention. I mean, I'm not going to get naked and throw my schlong out there. I'm just joking about that. But the truth is, would it get me 10,000? Would I consider it? Maybe. I have a fantastic pre-shower dance I think would go over well with the populace. It's very helicopterish, but it plays in Peoria. Do I want to do that for clicks? I don't know. I don't think so. But you can see my dilemma is that you start to think outside the box, which is good, but you may start to think, well, I really want to break through. How do I really get through? Well, I can say all ideas are on the table, and that's where I start to cringe because I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I feeding now? Is this 3-second dragon that I'm chasing causing me to lose the authenticity of my content? As you know, I reference this as art. This is my art form. Is somebody trying to direct my art form into another format, which I don't like? I don't know. But it made me think of the larger problem, which is if everyone is really fighting for the attention of the first 3 seconds of a video, and everyone's doing that on a large scale, it can't be good for everyone's attention span. And I would posit it's also bad for democracy. Let me speak to that point. Since your dopamine's so hooked into getting that flash pan pop from those 3-second videos or those reels or whatever you're doing, you're doom scrolling, it's so easy to pick up your phone when you're going to research. Now, I struggle with this majorly because I have ADHD. It's a whole discipline, or, it's a whole, I need to have discipline in order to avoid some of the patterns that can be the downfall of folks that have ADHD. done a really good job, I would say, considering my level of success, managing this level of retardation that I have. And I'm going to say it's fucking retardation because I can tell you, you think ADHD is people that are hyper. It's actually way, 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 way deeper. That's way deep. So I often, I put myself in a category where, focus is something of a challenge for me. So I don't necessarily think that everyone else has the same challenges, but I can say as somebody who hyper focuses on their focus in order to make sure they're not focused on the wrong thing. Yeah, I said that, it makes sense. I have to do things a little differently. I have to have tools in place. And so I believe, though, watching this happen, I'm starting to see that this is going to initiate behavior that's much like how my brain works with ADHD.
Keep viewers on YouTube/FN67IA.
Oh, wow. Somebody just spammed me. That's what that voice was. I have it on speech. So now when somebody comments, I'll hear it. So we're in that boat now. I don't know. That was crazy, right? See, that's the other thing about checking my comments. I've got to get to a point where I kind of have a moment where I set up a section and do that and everything else. Look, folks, I really want to get this content out today, but I will say I'm okay with failing in front of you. It's painful. It really does hurt. Like, I mentally go through anguish thinking about it. I mean, I was sweating, cold sweat, almost had to take off my shirt. That's how bad it was right after when I saw those comments. And you can say all the things that I need to do, and everyone's very helpful. And I know it's a mistake, and I know this is where producers and everyone else comes in play. But I don't care. I fucking love it, and that's why I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep going. I also believe what I'm saying is important, and it's not just me being a narcissist or whatever the fuck people think that I am. A lot of people think I'm cocky, narcissist, whatever, because I'm doing this. It's the complete opposite. There's a lot of insecurity that goes out with putting out yourself out there. There's a lot of incoming ego hits that I take on a regular basis. I just took 2 today. I failed miserably, spoke to a fucking camera on the internet with no sound for an hour and a half. I mean, I don't know how much more ridiculous you can get it. But I think it's important what I'm saying, and so that's why I'm trying to pierce through this glass ceiling. And that's why what I'm saying is important to me, at least for now, and maybe you as a consumer, because I'm like, wait a second here. You're telling me that my long form isn't fucking popping in Peoria. Okay. I'm new in the game. I get it. Ben Shapiro against my shit. Fucking get the fuck out of here. Not a chance. I've watched him. Boring, shitty. He's made himself. I salute you, Ben. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. But I don't think you could hold a candle to me in my prime. I just don't. Now, I know that means nothing with having, and of course, these are delusions of grandeur, as I said before. But I'm running into all this because I'm trying to get through, and I'm realizing that it's not only a Nate problem, it's a larger problem. And the problem is that we're being incentivized by these big players, by the holders to the keys of our free speech, if you can make that work. We're being told on what how we're supposed to deliver the content. Now, I get that they have the data. I get that they want to maximize the usage of their platform. But I'm not talking about like dancing, and I'm not talking about dogs and wearing makeup. I'm trying to talk about things that are really affecting the livelihood of folks. I don't want to put over importance on me or anything, but I think the concepts that I'm talking about are big things. They're not small things. It's not a small thing to not be able to eat. It's not a small thing to struggle to find housing. It's not a small thing to figure out where you are in the economic mix of this whole thing and why you're being stifled. Those are important things. It's not a minimal thing to think that you could go broke if you get cancer. Everyone watching this video knows someone that got cancer. Everyone knows our healthcare system is the thing that will rip out any savings or anything that you have. So I'm not doing this because I think that maybe somehow this is going to get me vanity. There's much better ways for me to get that thing that people think that I need. Not doing this. This is going to create division. People are not going to like me. It's going to create more. It's going to probably go to the core of what folks either believe or disagree with. I say all that because I just am trying to help you understand the altruistic motives. I do want to be successful with this, but I'm trying to do it so we can get the message out. And you run into this glass ceiling and you run into these incentivization programs that tell you how you're supposed to build your content and what kind of content you're supposed to put out. We know it's not kosher to talk about Palestine in the defensive on social media. That's not just me saying it. It's been stifled. I can tell you that there's a lot of things in my mind that make me think Smashing the Party was the product of some of that conspiratorial bullshit. I know it sounds crazy, but Smashing the Party did just disappear right about the time I started criticizing Palestine. So we're kind of at the behest of these big players, and so it behooves us to figure out how we can navigate their platform. And I'm telling you right now that you as a shitty parent, and yes, you're a shitty parent. Your kid has a fucking cell phone. You're a shitty parent. I don't care. God, I wish you would have heard the last rant. I was talking about how good of a parent I'd be, and I love armchair quarterbacking. And I can tell you if I was a parent in a school or I was a teacher, get the fuck out of here with your phone. If you're coming in a class where I'm going to speak, the fuck you're going to be on your phone. It's that easy. I don't know what's wrong with adults. Like, they're kids. You fucking say no. Oh, my kids are taking over my house. Get the fuck out of here. Y'all are shitty parents. And I love that I have no kids because I can sit here and tell you I'd be the fucking best parent ever. And you'll never know it, but I know it. Because I can tell how awful you guys are. The fact that you give your kids these phones for pacifiers blows my mind. What were you thinking? What's gonna happen if you give this kid a fucking TV? I don't know. But you all just said, yep, let's do it. And now you go, well, we all need cell phones. Now, I get maybe your sixth grader needs cell phones and all that shit. But the fucking phone at the table, get the fuck out of here. I go out and I see couples and people just at a group of kids, 23-somethings. They're all sitting at the fucking table on their phones. I'm part of that. I get it. But this is a larger problem. It's happening to everybody. Everybody's attention span is being hijacked. And I'm making the claim today, the 3-second news cycle is destroying America. And I'm calling it 3-second news cycle because that's all it takes. That's what they're saying they want us to build videos for, is to capture that 3 seconds. MSNBC is doing it. Fox is doing it. They got reels out there. So I'm competing with these big players trying to capture this 3-second bullshit. Now, I know when your eyeballs land and your ears fall upon me and you encounter the Nate experience, that you are taken to a place that you don't know how to get away from and you always want to come back. We know that. But we need to get this in front of people, otherwise it's futile. And the idea that we're going to change the world with 54 fucking YouTubers is just plain delusional. Now, I am delusional when it comes to this. I believe that if I'm consistent and I continue at it, there's no reason why I couldn't be highly successful at this. I'm not going to continue to shitty. I'm going to continue to have fucking weird ass nights where my sound doesn't work. You want to know the reason? Because I moved all my scenes around and I forgot to copy over the audio fucking thing. That's what happened. Again, the Nate fucking disease of trying to play with things in the last minute caused me the problem. So it was an easy fix. But all that being said, I'm noticing that as I'm building this platform, I'm also kind of being driven a certain way, to do things a certain way, to say things a certain way. And this 3-second dance that I'm trying to do now, which as you saw today, maybe you didn't see the whiz bang, but I got some... I'm trying to pump up the 3 seconds. I'm not trying to piss you off necessarily. And that's the one thing I kind of pushed me over the edge to talk about, was that what if I know what I can do to get more views, but I'm just not comfortable doing it? And what if I believe that's compromising my whole intention, which is to put truth out there and not mislead people? Give people my opinion. Make sure it's based on facts. I'm not some fucking savior guy that thinks I'm going to save the world. But this has been a forum that I enjoy and I feel like I can develop. So this 3-second glass ceiling is frustrating because it kind of pulls me a certain way, a certain direction. Now, you're probably watching going, dude, Listen to them. Your shit sucks. You got to do this. You got to do whatever they say. I know. I get it. I can do the things, and I'm going to continue to do the things to make this pop, get my quality better, make my storytelling better, make it so that you can't stop listening to it, make it so that it's a routine, make it so that you're doing it while you work. I want to be, as I said in my last 2 episodes that I did that were exactly like this, I want to be like your Rush Limbaugh. I want to be your liberal, maybe your open-minded Rush Limbaugh, where you're working and you put it on in the background, and it's just that guy's just dropping hot stuff on you, and you know that there's valuable information coming to you, and so you can just sit back, listen to the warm, cool voice as you get injected with muckraking factoids and facts. I don't know. So data's important. I'm a data person. I'm a tech person. Might not look like it from the quality of this feed, but I'm really having trouble with that. You know, I don't like if I'm walking down the street and somebody says, "Hey, continue walking that way." I'm probably going to stop and say, "Fuck that. I'm going a different way." So you probably can tell and assess that I don't like to be controlled or told what to do. I'm a horrible, horrible, horrible underling. I need to be in charge. I can be under you, but you better be fucking smarter than me. God, do you know how many people I've worked for that are dumber than me? I'm sorry, it's fucking awful. Now I really sound delusional. Let me get back to the point. This is the 3rd time I've done this, so I'm a little bit off script. I'm always off script, but I do have the core points that I want to get through, and that is, if everybody's building for content and content that's going to capture the first 3 seconds, then we're going to be in a very loud, overstimulating place, and there's a couple things that are going to happen. You're either going to turn away from it, you're going to get numb, which is the worst thing, and you're just going to disconnect. So when it comes to political noise, of course, that's the worst thing we want to happen. But there are some parties and some people that believe that's an okay thing. As long as you're just voting for them when it comes down to it, they don't really care if you know what they're doing. Just a side note, one of the things I've added to Smashing the Party once we get our feed primed up is I have a live feed of what's going on in Congress that I want to have going in real time. And it's just crazy to see the fact that these people don't do shit, but they want us to get riled up and they want us to get motivated. And even these folks are creating that trigger happy content. Is it bad? Is Nate just way off the mark? Is he just trying to put out content by saying, "Oh, 3 seconds going to destroy democracy"? No, think about it. Think about over time what that does to your attention span. And the next generation doesn't even have a chance. I know what it's like to actually wait for a phone call, maybe pick up the phone. Ooh, privacy. You look at a book and everyone's names and their addresses in it. Ooh, phone books. Fucking guys acting like privacy is a thing. Oh, my address. Stop. We used to publish a book that went around to every house that everyone's name and address in it. It was a book that got dropped off at the house. Give me a fucking break. We'll do a thing on privacy on that one. But I remember when you had to wait for a phone call and things were weird, and my mom had a real long cord that she could strangle children with from probably about 10 yards away. It was the longest phone card I ever saw. I've never seen one longer. I don't know if it was a special order, but she could literally go upstairs, downstairs, outside to the garden, down to the neighbor's house, and still be on this fucking phone that's attached to the wall. Somehow fucking still commanding the house. My mom was a perfect manager. She was the best manager I've ever met. Mom, I say that to you. I'm the second best manager because I have that skill set of obsessively annoying on top of my shit, which, by the way, I got from you, and I'm proud of it. So I will say kudos to you, Mom. You fucking managing 15 kids, 13 kids is a hell of a thing. That's why I say when I talk to parents who are parenting so hard, I'm like, my mom fucking had 13 when she was 35, or she had 9 kids when she was 35. Yeah, she was crazy and that's wild, and God bless her and all that shit. God, Ganesh, whatever. Ooh, you got me. I said God. It's a term. I haven't become a Christian all of a sudden. Not a hater of Christianity, but just in case. There's a lot of people that watch me very closely to see when I say things about God or Jesus or anything like that, and they look for moments of either me finding weakness in my Christianity or lack of thereof, or me kind of having a reason for them to yell at me. So I'm very careful about that. But no, from a management perspective, I believe that she did a great job. And I do remember we had limited TV time. Now, I've bitched and moaned about my overly conservative upbringing before, because I felt like culturally I wasn't exposed to things that I should have been exposed to, perhaps. But there's on the other side of it, this is why I get angry about this issue when it comes to parents, and they're like, oh yeah, you just got to do it. I mean, there were rules that we had. We weren't allowed to do the things that other kids were allowed to do because of certain situations. It was just, yes, it pissed me off. Yes, it probably caused some problems, but I mean, I give her the fucking credit beyond credit, because like, she ran a tight ass ship, and like, yeah, she didn't give a fuck what the neighbors were doing. You're not doing that shit. So the neighbors might have a phone, but you're not getting one. I mean, that's kind of the way I would raise my kids, to be honest with you, too. So, Mom, again, I'll take that one from you. This is the way it is under this roof, and that's the fucking way it is. Why am I saying all this? Because the 3-second thing that I'm talking about is so pervasive in your children. You guys use them as pacifiers. I hear friends that have children say kids don't even go out. They don't even know how to socialize. So this isn't just Nate being picky about something. There's a larger problem here. Maybe I don't have my finger on the pulse on the right spot, but something's happening right now where we're like, no attention span, and it's so loud that you can't even see or hear what they are saying. Does that make sense? Am I just speaking into the ether to no one? Are the clouds listening? I think it makes sense. And if you kind of take this and multiply it, as I said earlier, I like to do induction, where it's like n equals 0. Okay, if there's no people that have phones, then we have 0 problems. Now, if we have one that has a phone, we have some. Now, if we have n plus infinity, then we can start to see the trajectory of that problem. And so this is one of those things where it's like, all right, yeah, Nate's struggling with some content. He wants to break through that 3-second. But I look around, I'm like, well, everyone is. Wait, everyone that's good at it's doing it really good. And wait, what about us? What happens to me? Like, I'm just getting pounded, like sprayed like a porno star, fucking just sprayed all over the place with this content. I've never watched porn, so that was just I just came up with that one on my own. I don't know why that would even come out of my brain. Because it's late. This is the 3rd fucking time I'm doing this. I'm doing it for my ego. This is total ego, too, by the way. I'm like, fuck this. I'm not going home until this thing's out the door. So hope you enjoy it. No one's commenting. Of course no one's going to be up at this hour. Why would someone be watching me at this hour? Freaks. Let me see it. Does it say the sound's off? I don't care. I don't even care. If the sound's off right now, I'm just going to fucking ship it. Hey, this one's for all the people that don't have hearing. This is my first accessible video. I'm doing it for deaf people. If you have hearing, sorry, this video isn't for you. This is for people who can read lips. That's what I'm going to say if this video comes out with no sound. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to put a deaf fucking thumbnail on it, put some fucking hearing aids, and ship that shit. And fucking sell it to all I'm going to boost it to deaf people. That's how much I'm fucking going to make that video work. Today, this video is going to work. Okay? So if there's no sound, we're going to a different niche. Niche. Ooh, I said niche. Niche. Breathe, Nate. Breathe. Oh, and then, of all that, I still didn't even hit go live on Instagram. The good thing about Instagram, though, is if you hit live, at least it'll send the whole product. It'll send the whole video there. So, all right. So if you're just checking in on Instagram, I'm going to catch you up. I did this for the 3rd time. I did it once last night. I did it twice tonight. And I know that you guys didn't have sound on Instagram, but it's fine. I wasn't worried about Instagram as much as I was worried about getting one that made sense. My topic today is important. 3-second news cycle. I think it's destroying democracy. I know I spelled news wrong, but whatever. We have no producers. Eat a dick. It's important because everyone's attention span's waning. And everyone's fighting for that waning attention span. Mine being in particular weird attention deficit disorder means that I'm focused on about everything at the same time all the time and nothing at the same time as well. So I have a different viewpoint of it, but I would say I have a hyper-focused viewpoint of focus because it's a challenge that I deal with every day. And so I'm aware of things that make or distract me or pull away from my focus. I'm hyper vigilant, or at least I hope to be, of those things so that I can avoid the pitfalls that come along with having ADHD. Many of them I've overcome, and I would argue that I'm mildly successful at my day job because I have these patterns that I've formed that help me to utilize the hyper-focusedness of ADHD when I need to, and also take breaks and disconnect when I'm not focused on that thing, because it's just useless to have me focused on something or working on something when I'm not fucking there. So these are the things that I'm aware of. And so today's rant may not sound like it's coming from an expert, but I'm going to argue that I'm an expert in focus. I'm an expert in trying to manage my focus because it's a challenge every day. Just like if somebody was handicapped and had no legs, their arms would be very strong because they're using their arms the whole time. I feel like because I have a challenge with focus, the other avenues for how I try to manage it kind of kick in, and I've tried to figure out, and people that know me can argue that I'm not successful, and they probably see some of the outcomes of the bad days, but Christ almighty, I'm doing great. And I would argue that if someone lives a life that I've had, sans the trauma from 1 to 5, you're doing all right. I say all that because focus is something that I'm keenly aware of. And so this thing really shot out to me. It spoke to me because it's honing in on that thing that I've got to work on and kind of lasso in every day. And now I'm seeing that they're kind of mainstreaming this chaos that already exists in my brain, but they'd like to get everyone kind of on the dopamine train. And I don't see how that bodes well for democracy. I don't see how that bodes well for people having interest in issues, digging deep into things, looking at nuance. Nuance is going to be lost because how do you get nuance in 3 seconds? We already know that memes are wildly successful at saying a lot with nothing. The problem is they're saying a lot with nothing without context. So it's funny and it's great because, wow, you feel like you're on the inside joke every time you see a meme. Ooh, that picture, I get it. It's one of those things. That's why memes are actually an ego boost. That's why they're successful, because it's like, hey, you're on the inside of this joke. Get it? That's all memes are. If you're a meme junkie, you're really just trying to figure out where your circle is, and you're trying to create it. I mean, I swear to God, think about it. We'll talk about it. Memes are useless. They're great at getting people off their. They're the 3 second analogy to the 3 second video. That's memes are essentially like the visual artifact of the 3 second video. I mean, it's just like, all right, don't read an article. Here's a meme. I shit you not. People talk about views and they argue with memes. I as soon as I get a meme in my inbox with somebody like memeing me trying to make an argument, I'm like, if you're not trying to be funny, it's a picture. You sent me a fucking picture. I wanted words. I didn't want a picture of a frog. I wanted words that were articulate, not 4 words. Memes are stupid. They're fucking 3 second. That's the 3 second sickness that I'm talking about. That's full blown. And now they're trying to pump it into videos where they're gonna do it because they're gonna pay me and everyone else to crank out videos that are popping in the first 3 seconds. And over time, it's just gonna kill people's dopamine. They're not gonna have interest in anything that's not right in front of them. It's gotta be easy. Nuance, so boring. That's why I'm not excited about it, because I know what I'm talking about is kind of boring. People don't want to talk about politics. It's divides. Oh, by the way, I'm above politics. I don't talk about politics because politics doesn't affect me. I have so many friends. I have Republican friends and Democrat friends, so I don't talk. Fuck off. Fuck you. Politics affect you. You're just privileged enough that you don't have to deal with it. Oh, wow. You're basically throwing egg in my face. So when you say, oh, I don't really do politics, you just don't have the courage. And why am I saying it that way? If people would talk about the things that are uncomfortable, we could actually solve problems. I don't buy the fact that something's fucking uncomfortable so we don't talk about it. I'm open to talk about shit that's even happened to me that I'm uncomfortable about. Bet. I don't like to talk about shit that makes me uncomfortable, but in my therapy sessions, I'm forced to. And you know why? Because uncovering that shit makes me understand it and fix it. So these conversations that I'm trying to put out, I get frustrated because I know it's boring shit. I know it's not funny. I know it's, some people want me to get serious. Some people think I'm not serious enough. Some people don't like the F-bomb. Fuck you. Some people hate when I say retard. I hate them too. I'm never going to please everybody. But what I don't like is having the big brother telling me the content that I have to create and the methods that I have to do it. And to me, it really it goes against everything I'm trying to do by saying, hey, look, put out the lead in the front. Say the spicy thing in the beginning. I don't want to do that. I want to save the spicy resolve for the end. I want you to listen to the whole video and go, what the fuck where's his position? Then call me the next day and say, where did you land on it? Are you for it or against it? I didn't listen to the whole thing. That's happened. You know it's happened. So this 3-second thing is important to me, not only for this platform, but it's also, as I'm arguing, creating a world of people that are finding that focus is going to be their challenge too. We already know this has happened. We call it doom scrolling, right? You're just scrolling through. And I've got purple because according to research, purple will stop doom scrolling in its tracks. I joke, but then I heard about a glow. If you add a glow to the persona that you're on, then fucking people stop scrolling. I joke, but I did it. So you know that I'm willing to do things to get your attention. I just don't want to compromise my authenticity. You may not think this is authentic. This is real as fuck. This is real. Like, I'm like this often. I've cried on this thing. I've gotten sad. I've gotten happy. People call me soft because I've cried. People think I'm an asshole because I'm too mean. So I don't know if I'm soft. I'm hard. I don't know if I'm flaccid. I don't know if I can do any more double entendres. I think that's enough. Damn, that second hour was so good. I was just ripping off joke after joke after joke after joke. Why am I whispering? Because I'm all here by myself and no one's hearing me. I just feel like it was more intimate by whispering to you. Let's put a bow on it. We're going to try to wrap this up. This is the third time. No one's listening. No one's heard anything. There is nobody going to pay attention to this feed. But let's try to talk, and let's try to talk some sense and make some sense of everything we said. So I came in hot talking about 3 seconds ruining democracy and the news cycle being fucked up. I'm making that argument because I feel like we're being incentivized as content creators to hit that mark. And what does that mean? It means we're going to get crazier and crazier to do things to try to get that attention. Some people, I don't know who, might even do a dance like they're getting in the shower and shit. That's awful double entendre. We got way out of bounds tonight, right? Whoa, Nate. Whoa, whoa. But for real, like it makes you want to do things to get people's attention. And what is that thing? What is that thing then? Well, I know that, I don't want to start an OnlyFans. I would be okay selling my feet, possibly. But I'm not willing to, I may show a little maybe nipple action, but I'm not going to show the elephant trunk. You know what I mean? So I'm making jokes, but it's like, how do I get through? How do I pierce? I don't have an aesthetic mug. I'm not voluptuous. I know that's one of it. I'm not a cute little pug or a dog. Now, there's a lot of people doing social media that don't have those attributes. So I'm not painting a broad stroke there and saying that's all it takes. But I know I'm in a niche that's very tough and people don't want to talk about it anyway. So I'm really just kind of walking into a room and dividing it instantly. But I'm aware of the fact that there are other players in this domain that are getting attention. And I tell you this from watching their content. They are compromising their authenticity all the time. They're bullshit. They're trying to create controversy where there's not. Sometimes it's so rough that it's like, what the fuck, dude? That was not a very good debate at all, and you didn't win, and you lost. But I guess your placard that says, Ben Shapiro destroys fucking 12-year-old girl was the thing that got you the hits. Now, that gentleman has several things going for him. besides his white privilege. He's got connections to a lot of money. He was a professional writer and a reporter, and he's very persistent. And I'm gonna say that he has done well to ignore his haters and grown a massive following. So kudos to Ben Shapiro. I do also think that he did some things that what I wouldn't want to do. He put out a lot of content that was meant to instigate and not instigate in a good way. And that's where I lie. That's why I'm kind of like, that's why I wanted to get this post. I wanted to really do this live and get this content in front of you to help you understand what I'm going through. This is also a diary of sorts for me. And I'm like, well, okay, so it's already big challenge looking up saying 49-year-old dude wants to become a larger player in the platform scene. And, of course, there's a lot of competition out there. But not only that, then you've got the competition that you're competing with is it really the type of environment that I want to compete in? I don't really fucking give a shit about small form and short forms. I know everyone wants, and I'm going to be cutting up reels and doing all that shit. But I don't care to be funny little quirks. I'd rather somebody come down and sit down and listen like they're going to church. Like, I'd rather have somebody say, all right, it's time for Nate. Let's fucking get quiet and fucking listen. Not because of my ego, but because the things that I'm saying are cohesive and taken out of context. It's easy to chop something I say and say that this is how I feel about something, because I try to articulate my thoughts as they come to my head. And I try to put them into the ether as soon as I get them in this show so that you can see my thought process. And so it's easy for someone to take a thought, a suggestion out. Maybe that suggestion was a bad one. Take that out of context, and now all hell broke loose. So there's a lot of things that I'm considering, and one of them is the direction, and I don't want to be the person that loses who they are because they're chasing after somebody. I'm not chasing money on this. There's no money in this. There's no money in this. There's no money in this. There's no fame in this. There's no fame in this. There's none of that. The only thing I get is I do feel good about helping folks. I do believe in the vision of growing this to the point where we can make real impact. But I just don't want to just kind of become a meme generating content fucker. That's what it feels like when I start to look at the data. Now, maybe I'm overthinking it. You can probably argue that I'm overthinking. That's probably a natural tendency for me to do, is overthink. But I think that's a good thing. I believe that being thorough and understanding what I'm up against is important. And I'm less concerned about my competition when it comes to ideas. For instance, Ben Shapiro or anybody on the right, anyone on the left, I'm not competing with them. But in the war of ideas, that's my only competition. So it's important to break through. And that's why, I've got to figure it out. And I've got to do it. And I got to question whether or not I can do it without, just whipping my dick out. While that would be a lot of views, it might not go so well for future employment. I don't know why I keep saying whip my dick out. I just keep going to the OnlyFans concept because it's, we have an environment where people are like, all right, fuck it. Nothing works. I'm selling my body. And that's fine. And by the way, I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater of OnlyFans. So if you're a sex worker or you're on OnlyFans selling your feet pics, I'm fucking actually jealous. Good for you. But I'm at this place where I know this is going to work. I know what I need to put into it to get to where I need to. Again, we've not dumped any money in this. It's just been time. And I'm up against the 3-second news cycle, as I call it. I'm up against I got to alter my content. Now, my ego aside, I know that this isn't the presentation of content that you've ever seen in your life. And I know there's a ton of work. But no one is me. And that's my original thing that I bring to the table. That's what I keep telling myself, is Nate Bomberger is the thing that can't be replicated. You can't replicate me. So I'm going to give all of me. And if I give all of me, then how the fuck can someone copy that or even beat it? Maybe it's not the best content in the world, but damn it, when I leave this planet, to be like, holy fuck, that guy was fucking saying some cool shit. I probably will have some I don't want to say hummus. I can't say that word. Posthumous celebrations in my life. I would love to be here when it happens, but I just don't think I'm having enough time. So I envision someday, maybe 500 years from now, I'll be going through archives. I'll be like, oh my God, this guy was really interesting. And then maybe I'll have a little cult following that just exists. And I won't be here to enjoy it, but somehow they'll carry the message of truth and the reverse bottom-up philosophy that I talk about. But in the meantime, I'm going to try to break through while I'm alive. And I'm going to try to figure it out. And I'm going to be aware of the fact that this content game is driving me to the content that they want, not necessarily what's true or what I want to say. So I'm going to be vigilant of that. And you may think this was all a waste of time, but I think it's important for me to help you understand that I'm taking this very seriously about the direction. I don't want to be just like everyone else. I don't give a fuck about other people per se. I very clearly see where I want to go, and that's where I need to go, and everything else can just be foggy and weird. But the 3-second thing from Facebook, TikTok, and everyone else, I mean, this is the world I live in, and so I got to figure out how to get more views, not just a nice bright aura or a flashy animated purple background, although it does help. I know if you're listening, you're just not really understanding the wow factor of what I got going on the screen, but that's your fault. Make sure you check into the one that you can hear and see tomorrow. Whoo! Rough day. What time is it now? Are we pushing 1 o'clock yet? Oh, we're at 1:30. Good. Perfect. So right about the time when I get my best work done, for real. I will wrap, though, since this is more of a checkbox to get this out the door and no one's listening. And you guys have been great, though. And I want to say my bow on this will be 3-second news cycle is a real thing. It's now being put on the content creators. And so, if you're feeling like you can't get away from your phone, that's by design. We're creating content to keep you there, to capture just a glance. We want to pull you in. If you look at your phone and my mug is on the screen, I want to do something to get your attention. And so with everyone's doing that, it can't be good for nuance. It can't be good for deep diving. It can't be good for people that want to learn the nuance of things when all you have is 3-second short videos and memes that are being passed around for information's sake. And trust me, this is how some people talk about politics, passing memes around. Not fucking my shit. No, fuck that. It's way more nuanced. Let's talk about the institution of slavery and how it still exists in some manner. Yeah, I said that crazy shit. Who can fucking come in the room and fucking have a debate with me about that? I'm saying slavery still exists. Where the fuck are you? 3-second violation going to shut me down because I said slaves and blah, 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 blah. This is why I'm talking about it, because everything I do on this thing, as long as I'm attached to these corporate platforms, I've got to play by their rules. And I'm not happy about it. I don't like it. I don't like being forced to do creative things in 3 seconds. Okay, I get you want to glance, but I don't want just the glancers. I want the nuance. I don't want the meme fucking watchers. I want the people that are deep thinkers, that are action takers. I know. I want my cake and I want to eat it too. You can see my face. I'm not happy. I don't want to fucking create reels and shit all day long. I want to do my hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and be done. I want to have a Rush Limbaugh style fucking audience where I pound it out every day. I don't care. I'll do 5 hours. And that's it. And that's it. I don't want to do editing. I don't want to be done. Come talk to me afterwards, but that's it. And that delivery is the way I want to go. That sounds very delusional and egotistical. And I'm willing to compromise on a lot of things to get the right mix of how to get attention. But it makes sense to be aware of these drivers. And you as a parent, you as a person in America, in this world, need to understand that the incentivization for you to there's no incentivization for you to drop your phone. They want you on your phone like a motherfucker. People's lives depend on it. My life depends on that you watch your stuff. I mean, obviously, I prefer you watch it with your family and on your big screen TV with popcorn and make it a daily event. But we can't have everything, right? All right. So it's 1:30. It's late. This is the third time I've done this episode. I'm hoping that the sound got out the door. We didn't even have our special effects, but we did it, and we haven't missed a night. Even though we didn't drop ours live and put it out last night, we did one last night. It was so shitty because half of my halfway through the mix, I detached the stream and it was nothing. So there was nothing going on. Hell's on my lip. But it's been good, and I want to say my thank yous. Everyone's been awesome. I did a real nice thank you earlier. It sucks when days like this happen. It sucks when people get to watch me fail pretty miserably publicly. It doesn't cause me depression doing that, though. That's interesting. I get depression and anxiety from all kinds of things, but when I'm trying to accomplish something like this, I'm just more determined, and it pisses me off. I get pissed, so I'm gonna fucking be successful. I'm so pissed off that I've been sucking lately that I'm gonna be amazing someday, and I'm gonna look back on this and go, "Holy shit, you were bad, but damn, you're good today." So I appreciate all the support. There was a lot of support coming in, even after the second one. A couple people sent me some messages, and I will say that I don't want to jinx myself, but my reach is fantastic on Facebook, and it's actually larger than my personal account. So on Smashing the Party, my personal account was pretty big. I had a, pretty just sitting there resting bitch face, and I had 10K for a reach. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited. Even the bad nights, even as I put together a string of debauchery these last 2 nights, I'm still happy. I'm still enjoying it. I still love this. I still see the vision clearly of where I want to go. And I hope that you'll continue to buy it, and I hope you continue to support me as you have. I know this shit ain't exciting all the time. I'm trying to spice it up. I'm trying to bring you some energy. I'm trying to deliver something that's a little different. Someone that has no reverence for whatever. I just don't give a fuck. So this is going to be something I don't think I've seen somebody else do. Everyone has their spice, but not like this. And so I'm not trying to be Alex Jones. I'm not trying to be Rush Limbaugh. I'm not trying to be Jon Stewart. I'm not trying to be Trevor Noah. I'm trying to be authentic Nate Bomberger. And I'm already getting pissed off because Facebook, TikTok, and everyone else is telling me that 3 seconds fucking sucks. So you're going to see me spice up my 3 seconds. I don't know how far I'll go. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if this made sense. Tell me if you think I'd be a good parent. Tell me if you think I'd be a better parent than you. I know I would. These are all things I'm saying to trigger you, hopefully to make a comment. You're a bad parent. I know you are. The only way you're going to prove that you're a good parent is if you comment on this story and articulate the reasons why you're a good parent. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue to think you're awful. Jokes aside, this is 1:30 in the evening. This is the 3rd time I've done the 3-second violation. I've deleted all the videos. I think this is going to be the one that will stand. Folks, there's no reason to get ashamed when we're doing this. This is part of our learning. I'm a fucking new streamer guy. I'm trying to do this live with no team, just like a little kid. Don't have 10 hours a day sitting here staring at my screen like a little kid might. So I'm going to learn it. I say these things because this is what I tell myself when I make major mistakes like that. You have to just kind of look past it and say, ugh, take it. And that's what makes it better. Super, super cringeworthy, though. I will say, watching me look at a video with no sound, horribly embarrassing. But you're going to be able to say, look, man, I remember when that guy fucking used to struggle with his sound. Now he's got like 15 people just fucking checking his microphone. Blah, 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 blah. Right? That's the goal. We're going to leave with that. As you can see, I'm wearing down to a grindy halt. 3 seconds. Try to take time to read the article. Don't just read the headline. You know what I'm talking about. Dive into the article. Open up a book. Watch a movie. Get off your phone. Stop liking reels. Start liking long-form content. I think you'll be happier. Put your phone down for a day. Try it. It's amazing. Just ignore everybody. It's fantastic. I swear to God, it's the best. All right. Well, that's all I got. I'll be back tomorrow or today at 10:30. And I know, Lewis, you gave me some good advice. I need better sound checkers. I need to check my messages when I'm on here, do a sound check. You know, one of the things I didn't do that I hesitated to do was start early and do a sound check because people get pissed off when they watch the recording. But you know what? Fuck those people. It's better for me to have a good live and them have to just scroll through to the 0 minute mark. I've done a better job at timing the videos so that they start on time at the 0 mark. So I think that I'm just going to put that fear away and just say, fuck it. I'm going to just start a little earlier, get the sound right, because it's pretty fucking traumatizing looking at my thing and seeing all those comments and that there's no sound. So if you'll bear with me, I'll try that, but we'll get it fixed. Look, man, I don't give a shit. I'm not going anywhere. The only place I'm going is dead, and if I'm dead, I'm not going to be giving a shit anyway. So here I am. We're going to try this again tomorrow night. Make sure you check it out. We'll get the fucking shit fired up. We're going to get some jokes in there. We're going to get spicy. We're going to get our 3-second was a bang. So you can't scroll past. Your finger will literally break if you try to scroll past one of my videos. I've got the inside tip on some Israeli technology that'll break your finger if you fucking scroll past my page. I don't know why I said Israeli. It just seems like they're the weapons. They're the weapon of choice right now. I know. I was almost a good one, and I just got to gig it. Yo, free Palestine. That's all I got. Let's check in tomorrow, 10:30 p.m. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your patience. Love y'all, but I'm out. Like shout. For real. Like, I'm really out. This thing better go off soon. Like, please.